All right, then if everybody will just, if you will all mute, you'll be able to read it aloud. And let me. Okay. I have to move your beautiful faces from my screen because I can't see the prayer. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go slowly as I can. Avinu Sheba Shamayim Tzur Yisrael V'Go'alo Barech et Medinat Yisrael Reshit Tzmichat Geulatenu Hagen Aleha Be'evrat Chasdecha Ufros Aleha Sukat Shalomecha Ushlach Orcha Va'amitecha Lerasheha Sareha Ve'yoatzeha V'taknem Be'etza Tova Milfanecha Chazek et Yedei Megine Eretz Kodshenu Vehanchilem Eloheinu Yeshua Va'ateret Nitzachon Teatrem Vinatata Shalom Ba'aretz V'simchat Olam Leyoshveha Venomar Amen. Okay. How is that?
Parts of it were good, parts were a little fast.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Who is 516-641-6928? Can you unmute? Because I don't recognize the phone number. Hi, Iris.
Hi, I had trouble finding the Zoom.
Oh, sorry.
So you'll see two frantic texts from me, just ignore them.
Oh, sorry. I didn't see any. Okay, I'm sorry. But Iris, you're on an iPad.
Yes.
And somebody's on a phone.
Okay, I was on the phone first. Let me just
Oh,
turn off
okay.
I'll turn off my phone.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's just Iris. All right. Wonderful.
Okay, you okay now?
It's perfect. I just didn't know whose phone number it was. Okay. So, we had lots of services. 2 days of Rosh Hashanah and Shabbat, which gave you a lot of chances to follow along. So how did you do on Rosh Hashanah, where the prayers are not as familiar because we use them once a year, just at this season. So how did you do following along last week?
So we have to unmute.
Yeah, you'll have to unmute to talk.
Okay. I did not go to shul.
Okay.
However, I went to a meeting in shul for October 7th.
Oh, okay.
And they had screens coming down with prayers and songs.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to follow along and read the words like never before.
Oh, wow. Excellent.
Usually it's like they're 5 words ahead and I'm like dragging back, and I was right there.
All right.
So I was
Yay.
very happy.
Very good. And we're all happy for you. Wonderful. Everyone's smiling.
Good. So this morning when I couldn't get on, I was like panicked. It's like it's going to ruin my whole education.
Oh no. Well, I'm glad I don't see the text, so sorry. All right. Anyone else? Oh, go ahead, Harriet.
Well, I was on Zoom services. I'm having surgery soon, and I really am trying to keep away from crowds. So, and my daughter and a friend of hers who have kept up much better with their Hebrew. So I was behind, but because it was Zoom, it really didn't matter. So I could catch up. But I found that because I know I have missed classes, but I have been studying, and I was able to read a lot more than I have been in the past. So that made me very happy. So thank you.
Yeah, just practice helps. Just practicing helps. Okay, so Rosh Hashanah, on Rosh Hashanah, we had some special greetings. We said to each other, Shana Tova Umetuka, have a good year, have a good and sweet year. The Shana Tova Tikatevu V'Tikatemu. Lots of things to say for Rosh Hashanah. So how do we greet people right now between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur? What's our greeting right now? Anyone know?
I think it's Gamar Hatima Tova.
Very nice. Do
I
you know
looked
what it
it up.
means too?
May you be sealed, or I'm not sure.
Okay, so let me share the screen again and move on to the next slide. And here we are. So we're going to read it. Everybody can read. I hope the letters are, let's see if I can get you back, all my faces back here. There we go. Okay. Except it's covering up my words again. All right, so we're going to read it together. One of my friends, when I said Gemar Chatima Tova to her, she said, yeah, I'm back at you. Sometimes it's hard to understand the words. So we're going to just sound it out and read it together. Gemar
Hatima
Chatima
Tova.
Tova. Okay. And what does it mean? It means, let me stop sharing so I can see you. Gemar Chatima Tova means may your ceiling be good. You know, at Rosh Hashanah, what does it say in the machzor? I don't have a machzor with me. Hold on. No, it's not on the bookshelf anymore because it was being used downstairs. On Rosh Hashanah, we pray for good, for life, for health, all the good things, and everything is written then. And on Yom Kippur, they say it's sealed. And some people say that it's not sealed until Shmini Atzeret, or I don't know what all the different traditions are. But in the prayer book, in the Machzor, it says on Rosh Hashanah, it's written, and on Yom Kippur, it's sealed. So the Gemar Chatima, Gemar means finished. So may your finish, Tova is good. May your finish be sealed for good. And I don't think that's a good way to say it to somebody, but that's pretty much what it means. So Gemar Chatima Tova. All right, we are, yes.
Lichtam is to sign.
Okay, that's the sealing part, right?
Right.
Gemar is finishing. So
I
me,
finishing with a good signature.
Yeah, may you be sealed for, may you finish with a good, it's being sealed into that book of life. Sometimes the translations for our prayers are different from the translations in modern Hebrew. The first time my husband and I went to Israel, and he tried to ask for a map, a bus map, using biblical Hebrew, it didn't work so well. So may we all be sealed for a good life, and hopefully the hurricane season, which is not over yet, will die down. Okay. So last week, or 2 weeks ago, we began learning about the prayer Aleinu. And if you have a Siddur, you can find the prayer Aleinu in your Siddur. You know it's going to come at the end of a service, right after Ein Keloheinu. But I am going to share the screen because I'd have it here as well. I know it's a little bit, it's a little fuzzy, but what we're going to do right now, we're going to chant the verses from Aleinu that are in the text that we're using, the textbook that we're using. So we're going to start at the beginning and we're going to go down to here, Baruch Hu, and then we're going to read the last sentence in the first paragraph, and we're going to go down to where this little box is, and we can sing it or we can read it. But those are the lines we're going to do right now. You do not need to stand up or bow or anything right now, because what we're doing is learning. We're not praying. Okay. So if you'll all please mute so that we can all sing it together. Here we go. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol latet gedula liyotzer bereshit shelo asanu kigoye ha'aratzot velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama shelo sam chelkinu kahem vegoralenu kechol hamonam va'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamalachim hakadosh baruch hu. Now we're going to go to the last verse in the first paragraph. Veyadata hayom vahashevota el levavecha ki Adonai hu ha'elohim bashamayim mima'al ve'al ha'aretz mitachat ein od. And I know many congregations sing this paragraph aloud. And maybe we'll do that later. Okay, we're going to the very last line. in the prayer. And we'll try singing this one. Ve'ne'emar ve'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu Yihye Adonai echad Ushemo echad. And I'm going to just get to the next one and stop the share. Okay. I think we, if you go to services pretty regularly, you may have that memorized. So if it's memorized, then as you're practicing, look at the words even more carefully to make sure that the words that you have memorized are the same as the words that are in the book. Because when we do things like that, when we and we all memorize prayers, and we do it from what we hear, which is not necessarily translated to how it's written. I will never forget the bat mitzvah student I was teaching. She was a good student, but most kids, when they go to services, or even when they're in junior congregation, this is how they hold their siddur. Okay, so they're learning it orally from hearing. And she came back after I had assigned a new prayer for the group to learn, and she came back the next week and she said, I wasn't singing it right. I had to relearn all the words. And she was an unusual student. She was a very good student. Most of the other kids didn't know the difference. She was a good student. Okay. We're going to be in the using the textbook right now. And I've got it on the screen, and we're going to be on page, I didn't write it down. So we're going to be on page 18. We're going to be using pages 18 and 19 of the textbook, but I'm going to share the screen. And once I share the screen, I'm not going to be able to see. Oh, I can still see you. Okay. I can't see everybody. Let's see how many people I can get. Oh, I can't get everybody at one time. So when I ask a question that requires an answer, just like unmute and call it out. All right. We're going to be looking right now at the first 4 verses of Aleinu. And remember, he has the verses divided into A's and B's. And last week, when we looked at this prayer, we were able to note that the part B, rather than being a redundant, was actually another explanation, making this, although he's using the same kind of words, just making things clearer for us. And most of us would never even know this, that we're seeing things done twice, except that our author here has divided it up for us. Okay, so we're going to look at the first 4 verses, and we're going to be looking at a suffix. It's a suffix that we have seen before and that we should recognize because it's been prominent. It was prominent in Keloheinu as well. In fact, Eloheinu ends with the suffix nu, and that's what we're going to be looking for. So us or our, and what I would like you to do is take a look at verses 1 through 4 in the Hebrew and see how many times the suffix new is in this prayer.
In the first 4 lines?
In just the first 4 lines.
Five times, I think.
Okay.
Did I miss?
Dale gets his 5. Anyone
3.
else?
3 times?
3. Okay. Anyone else?
I got 4.
You got 4. Okay. Anyone else?
Just 1A, B, 2A and B, right?
1, 2, 3, and 4, A and B. 1, 2, 3,
Oh,
and
all the
4.
way down. Oh, sorry. I didn't know that. Okay.
So add some more. You've got 2 more verses to look at. 1, 2, 3, and 4.
7.
You found 7. Okay. Oops.
Oops, I missed one.
Excuse me just a moment. Hold on here. My daughter's calling me from Orlando, so if you'll just give me a moment, you keep counting.
Okay, now I have 6.
6. I got
6 now. I missed one.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, so any other guesses?
6.
6?
6, yes.
6? Consensus on 6, huh? That's what I found too. So what we're going to do, so go ahead and unmute, because what I'm going to do is, I don't know how many of you, how many are here today? Oh, there's 7. That's fine. We'll be all right, because I'll find another one. All right, so you're going to go according to the order that you're on my screen. And I'm going to ask you to read a word that ends with the suffix new. So Harriet, you're at the top of my list here. So will you read the first word that says,
Ale-
do it again.
Aleinu.
Excellent. Okay. All right. Anybody see any other words in verse 1? So Julia, you get to read the next word, which is on
I see it on 2A, which is
2A.
Asanu.
Perfect. Very good. And Terry, we're on 2B now. Do you see the second word in?
Yes. Samanu.
Very nice. Excellent. Dale, we're on verse 3A now.
El Kanu.
Yes. Look how good your reading all is, everybody. All right, I have to move my screen. Iris, you get
Vigoralenu.
very good. Vigoraleni. I lost my place. Okay. And Janet.
Barbara,
We're
can you
on-
say that word again that we just did?
Sure. Vigoralenu.
Vigoralenu.
Okay. What's your question about?
I just wanted you to repeat it so I could hear it.
Oh, okay. Okay. You know what? I will repeat them all. Okay. So who is Iris just went. So Janet, we are on 4A.
So
Very first word.
I'm having trouble seeing the
Oh,
maybe I should look in my
yeah, go ahead and look in the book. And it'll be easier. This is very small. And I
Okay.
tried to make it as big as I could, and I couldn't make it any bigger. Sometimes though, at the top of your screen, you may have something that will enlarge it.
Va nach nu. No,
Excellent.
that's not, yeah, vanachnu.
Va'anachnu, absolutely correct. Okay. Edith, you're next on my list here. And, oh, okay, so hold on. I've got it. Nope. Okay, Edith, you're gonna be next to read something as soon as we, those were our news. Okay. Okay, so, this first part of the, I lost my book. Okay, this first part of the prayer is about us. And it's incumbent upon us. It's to extol the Lord, to pay homage. God didn't make us like other nations. This is about us. He calls it the assertion. Okay, this class is not intended as a word for word translation of the prayer. So we're going to translate essential words that are going to appear again and again. So in the process, we're all going to get a pretty good comprehension of the totality of the prayer. So you don't need to memorize any words unless you want to, but we're going to see the words recur, and we're going to get the meaning as we continue to learn new prayers. As we go through the prayers and words are repeated over and over again, you're going to find that by the end of the session in January, you're going to understand more. You're going to find more meaning. And Edith, I'm going to get to a word that you can read to. There are a handful of new words in each unit. And there are going to also be a lot of words that we recognize from previous prayers. And there will be words that are just familiar to us. Words like shalom and Yisrael. Dale.
I have a question. What does this suffix new mean? Like does
Us and our.
us? Got it. Okay.
Us or our.
It's like from Menachnu.
Yes.
It's from Menachnu.
Mm-hmm. Us. You're right. See, Iris, you've got a really good comprehension of Hebrew.
It's because I speak Hebrew.
Right.
Don't pray Hebrew.
Right. And it's different, and the vocabulary changes. Anachnu is going to be the same, but there's some other words that just aren't used in everyday Hebrew.
You know how I describe it to people? I say there's Shakespearean English and there's conversational English, and the Siddur is what did I say?
Shakespearean?
No, is Shakespearean, yes. That's Shakespearean, and conversational is like conversational English, and that's it. And I don't understand Shakespearean English.
Yeah, there are a lot of words and that are different. Okay, so in your textbook on pages 100 to 102, there's a chart that's called 100 words. So you'll see it when you're looking in the textbook. Let's find it. Okay, it shows you not just the words. The words are written in alphabetical order, I think. Sort of. Anyway, the words are, I think they're listed according to when they first show up. You'll see all the words from unit 1. And then he keeps adding them. So the first word is Ain, from Ain Kelohenu, and you'll find it in units 1, 2, 3, and 12. So he's showing you where the words are showing up. The next word was Eloheinu. We all know that, our God, Eloheinu. And then he gives all of the different all the different ways we're going to see that word Eloheinu, Elohai, Elohav, Elohayah, and it gives all the units that it shows up in. Okay, so it's kind of a nice reference for the vocabulary that we've learned. He has another section that's called Vocabulary of Jewish Life. That's on page 103, begins on page 103, and he's got that divided by unit. So the first word that he felt was, and he's telling you in the book, you know more Hebrew than you think. And because you're using many Hebrew words in your English conversation, words like amen. So that was the first word that we actually looked at in Ein Kelohenu, because remember, the first 3 verses of Ein Kelohenu begin with Aleph, Mem, Nun, right? Which spelled out amen. All right, so you're going to see words here that are important for us to use, that we do use all the time, like the word Sidur, which is a prayer book. Machzor, which I referred to before, and I said, oh, it's not on my bookshelf. That's the prayer book for the High Holy Days, the Machzor. And you all know what book of prayers and stories and all we use on Passover, because we use that book in our home, and that's the Haggadah. Okay. So we're going to be looking at vocabulary today, and we're going to do it a little differently than you might expect. We're going to go from English to Hebrew. We're going to start with the English and try to discover the equivalent word in Hebrew. And usually we begin with line 1 of a text, but today we're going to begin with lines 5 and 10. So you can find the page that we're on. You can find the page we're on it's page 18. I'm going back to share the screen, and we're going to start by looking at line 5. So it's probably going to be bigger in your textbook. We're on line 5. Now, here's the question. And I want you to find the word, okay? What is the Hebrew equivalent of the English word king?
Melech.
Okay, we found melech. Excellent. And this is a word we recognize because it was in Ein Kelohenu, right? And this is a word we remember, Malkeinu. All right. Now, we just learned about the suffix nu, and I said the word that was in Ein Kelohenu was Malkeinu. So somebody want to tell me what Malkeinu means?
Our King.
Our king, right. It's like putting a puzzle together. Okay.
It's like putting the word our or my at the end of the word.
That's right. It's very interesting that the grammar in Hebrew it was very helpful to me when I was learning American Sign Language, because their grammar, they do the same thing in American Sign Language. you would sign you would sign the word our king. It's the same as you would read the word Malkeinu. You would sign the king and then our. Okay. Now, we're looking at the same line. Can you identify the Hebrew equivalent of Supreme King of Kings? So let me give you a little bit of help. Okay. In Shalom Aleichem that we sing on Friday night, we sing Mimelech Malchei Hamalachim Hakadosh Baruch Hu. And one of the ways to sing it comes out like this: Mimelech Malchei Hamalachim Hakadosh Baruch Hu. So looking at line 5, which you see it's translated the Supreme King of Kings. Which words mean the Supreme King of Kings?
Malchei Hamalachim.
So we have it Lifnei Melech, before the king, and here we have Malchei Hamalachim. And you see the root word of Melech 3 times. Here we have the Mem,
The Lamed and the Chaf.
Lamed, and the Chaf Sofit. And here we have, you see it here, Mem, Lamed, Chaf, and again, Mem, Lamed, Chaf. So look for those roots. When you hear a word that sounds similar to you, look for it. And we've got 3 words in a row in this sentence from the same root, that same root of king, Melech. Okay, any questions? I can't see everybody. Okay. Okay, now we're going to take a look at 5B. Good. All right. The next word, the Holy One, was also used in Shalom Aleichem, but we're going to treat this as a new word. Shalom Aleichem, if you were in the first, in the level 1 class, I think they used the textbook Shalom Aleichem. So you probably went over the prayer Shalom Aleichem in that class, because he keeps referring to it. All right. So we're going to look for the word that means the Holy One. Anybody have an idea of which word in 5B is the Holy One?
Hakadosh.
I don't-
I heard 2 people answer at the same time. Iris and somebody else. Who else?
Dale.
Dale? Okay. So, all right, Dale. Iris, I know you know this because these words are used. But Dale, which one do you think is the Holy One?
Well, I think Kadosh means holy. So
Yeah.
HaKadosh must mean Holy One, I think.
Okay, so ha is a prefix. You see the ha before the word kadosh, and the prefix ha means the. All right. Now, remember we noticed when we were translating other things when we were translating verses in Kelohenu, we noticed that it doesn't translate exactly. So the word one isn't in this piece of the verse. So hakadosh is the word that's describing the Holy One. They're referring to God, the Supreme King of Kings, the Holy One. Remember, our verses have two pieces to them that really mean the same thing. So hakadosh is the word that means the Holy One. Okay. And what word is and you'll know this one too, but what's the equivalent of blessed be?
Baruch.
Baruch.
Baruch. Baruch atah.
Yeah. Because that's the beginning of every bracha, remember? The last two verses of Ein Kelohenu, one began with Baruch and the next began with Atah, beginning of every blessing. Baruch, who is blessed be he. Who is the pronoun for he. Okay. All right, I actually told you that he means who means he. So we're going to skip, we're going down to verse 10 now. All right. Now, I need for somebody other than Dale or Iris to answer this question. Okay. What is the equivalent of the Lord?
Elohim.
I
Who
don't
said
know.
it? Who said that? I couldn't see who said it.
did.
Who's I? Tell me your name because I can't see all the faces.
Harriet.
Harriet. Okay, very good. Ha Elohim. So what do you notice about Ha Elohim? That it has that prefix ha. That the Lord. Okay. Let's look. Okay. Harriet, you answered the question. I have the words Lord and God, and to me they're synonyms. So there's another word in this line. And somebody else besides Harriet found Elohim. Is there
Adonai.
Adonai? Very good. And this in our Sidur and on the sheet that I on the page that I was showing you, they did not write Adonai this way. They wrote Adonai. I don't have it in front of me. I think it was Yud He Vav He. But very good. We have two words that mean Lord or God. I think they're the same, but apparently translators interpret it differently. So we have Adonai and we have Elohim. We have two words. And in between these two is this word who. Anybody remember what who means?
He.
He, yes. Okay. Now, let me see. He's got so many things here, and I don't want to do them all. But we are not going to get to Hatikva or the prayer for Israel. We're going to do that when we come back after all the next holidays. Okay. So let's keep going. All right. What is the word that is the equivalent to heavens? The heavens. I heard somebody say something.
Can I say something?
Shamayim.
Who said Bashamayim?
Terry.
Terry, excellent. Okay. Sorry, Iris.
No, I know.
I
Okay,
heard somebody, I heard somebody.
anymore.
else-
I won't answer anymore. It's okay.
This is too easy for you. All right, Bashamayim. I see the word Shamayim in the heavens. Ba is a prefix before the word Shamayim. Ba is a prefix that means in. In Ein Kelohenu, we had the prefix k that meant like, and we had the prefix la that meant to. And so now we have a third prefix, ba. Right. 3 prefixes so far. Okay. And we're on 10b now. So which word is the equivalent to and on? And on.
The first word, Vial.
The who said that?
Edith.
Edith? Right.
Yes.
Oh, so we've got a prefix here. We have the prefix the, which means and then we have
Barbara, I have to go.
who said that?
Terry.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry you have to leave a little bit early, but I wish you Gamar Khatima Tova.
And I'll get it when I can go back and get the recording. Thank you so much.
Okay. Gamar
Have an
Khatima
easy
Tova.
fast.
Okay. All right, we have the word the and we have the word al on and on. Okay. Identify identify the last word in the blessing that we say over bread, hamotzi. And what do you think the Hebrew word for earth is?
All right.
Who said that?
Haaretz.
Haaretz. You see the prefix ha, the, and aretz. And we remember that from saying hamotzi lachem min haaretz. Okay. All right. What is the Hebrew equivalent for there is none?
Ain ode,
Right. Ein od. Who said that?
Harriet.
Okay, thank you. Very good. Ein od. Ein. Ein is there is none. Okay. We're not going to translate any more right now. I'm going to stop the share because I want to talk a little bit about how Aleinu is said in your synagogue. Different synagogues have different customs. And so, how is Aleinu said in your synagogue? And Aleinu was said on the high holidays in the middle of the service in Musaf, in the second service of the day. Aleinu was said during the service, and it is usually done with quite a lot of drama. And the melody changes. There's a specific melody. There's a different nusach that's used, the melody that's used on the high holidays for davening. But when we get to that Aleinu, I don't know who composed it. I can find out from my son. But when we get to that Aleinu that's in the middle of the service, it's sung differently. It isn't sung usually the same as Aleinu L'Shabeach, which we do at the end of the service on the High Holy Days also. Okay, so go ahead and unmute. And how is Aleinu said in your synagogue? What are the traditions in your synagogue?
You
We
want-
typically say the whole thing in Hebrew.
The whole thing in Hebrew, okay? Everybody else, whole thing in Hebrew? Okay. Yeah, and most of the synagogues I've been in also done all in Hebrew. Anything else?
In our synagogue, it's usually the kids. They call the young people up to do it.
Oh, okay, very nice, because it's at the end of the service, so the children who are there usually get to go up and sometimes they lead Ein Keloheinu too, don't they?
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah, and sometimes they even stay up and do Adon Olam. It depends on what's going on in the synagogue that day. That's a nice tradition that the kids go up and lead it.
It is.
Anything else? And did you notice a difference, or did you notice when they sang Aleinu in the middle of the service on Rosh Hashanah?
I think
I'm not sure.
Delanu, where they prostrate themselves all the way down.
Mm-hmm. So when they do that Aleinu, and usually the melody changes, it's something like Aleinu. It's a different melody, and it's usually the rabbi and the cantor. Although I have been in synagogues where I saw people move to the aisle and do the same as the rabbi and the cantor. But there's so much drama to it. They're telling a bigger story even than normal when we bend our knees and bow down. Okay. In some synagogues, the ark is opened. On the high holidays, the ark was open for that Aleinu in the middle of the service. But in some synagogues, the ark is open during Aleinu on a regular basis. I don't know if any of you have a synagogue, are at a synagogue that opens the ark for Aleinu.
I don't think so.
Yeah, a long time ago, I was the chair for the Women's League convention, and the president at the time wanted to open the Ark for Aleinu because it would give more people honors. And I started getting phone calls when people heard that they were going to open the Ark for Aleinu. You can't do that. And so we learned that there are different traditions in different synagogues, and it is acceptable to open the Ark for Aleinu. Okay. So let's read Aleinu one more time. I'm going to share the screen. We're going to read it together. So please mute yourself. And let me get back to Aleinu. Okay, here we are again. You can use your Sidur if you prefer, or you can read along with me here, but please just make sure you're muted. And here we go. Aleinu leshabeach la'adon hakol latet gedula leyotzer bereshit shelo asanu kegoye ha'aratzot velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama shelo sam chelkenu kahem v'goralenu kechol hamonam va'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. And now we're going to skip to the last verse of the first paragraph. Veyadata hayom v'hashevota el levavecha ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim bashamayim mima'al ve'al ha'aretz mitachat ein od. And now we're going to go to the very last verse. Ve'ne'emar ve'haya Adonai lemelech al kol ha'aretz bayom hahu yiyeh Adonai echad ushemo echad. And now I'm going to go to the next page and we're going to sing Hatikva together. So everybody please stand up and we'll sing together. Kol od balevav panima nefesh Yehudi homia ulafa'ate mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia Od lo avta tikvatenu hatikva bat shnot alpayim lihiotam chofshi be'artzenu eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim lihiotam chofshi be'artzenu eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim. Okay. All right. Keep practicing. We are going to learn about Hatikva and the prayer for Israel next time. And we're also going to learn about the how the Siddur is set up and how these prayers are organized within the Siddur. And so I wish you all a Gamar Chatima Tova and a Chag Sameach, because we're not going to see each other before the holiday of Sukkot. First day of Sukkot is next Thursday, and Shmini Atzeret is the following Thursday. So I wish everybody a Chag Sameach and also Gamar Chatima Tova. And in there we'll have a few Shabbatot as well. Okay, go ahead. You can unmute now and
Can I ask you a question?
yes, please.
Okay. So when I go to Shabbat dinners here in Portland, they always sing Shalom Aleichem. I do not know the words, and I am like one of the only people not singing, and it really bothers me, and I don't know where to learn it.
All right. Let me write that down.
I know the melody.
Right.
So beautiful.
So let me make a note here. I need to put it on a piece of paper that I'm going to actually see. And I'll send everybody a copy of the words to Shalom Aleichem.
Iris, if you go into the Women's League website and you go to the classes, that's like level 1, that first class that you take that really focuses on that song. So if you listen to a couple of those sessions, the early sessions from that book, I think that will help you.
Okay, because I took that class and I did it.
Oh, okay.
But I did not.
Do you have the textbook from that class?
Everything is in Florida and I'm not.
That's right. That's right. And you've got everything in Florida. I remember. Are you sure you want to go back yet?
Yes, because I'm East Coast. It wasn't touched. I'm going back. I'm going back 2 weeks on Thursday, which is great because we don't have a class.
Right.
Can
Okay.
you
I
confirm, Barbara, our next class is 10/31, October 31?
I think so. I think
Okay.
that's, yes, because that's the last Thursday in October.
Okay, perfect.
And I'm probably going to be teaching that class from Baltimore. So, okay, so I'm gonna send Shalom Aleichem. Does anybody else want it besides Iris? Would you like the words? I'll send it to everybody. I'll send,
Thank you very
Barbara,
much.
are you in Baltimore usually?
no, I'm in New Jersey.
Oh,
But-
that's what I thought. Okay.
But my husband was treated at Johns Hopkins, and so we go back for his like quarter visits, and they're always on a Thursday.
Oh,
I'll be in Baltimore that day. But he doesn't see the doctors till the afternoon that day. He goes in for tests and stuff in the morning, so I can stay in the hotel and I can teach the class and he can go do his thing, and then we'll see the doctors in the afternoon. So that's how we lived in Baltimore for 1.5 years. And that's when it
I
got
have
sick.
to.
I'm
I
in
have to pick up this
Baltimore.
phone.
Oh, you're in Baltimore. So I'll be in Baltimore. I might come to your house and teach the class.
Yeah, you can do that.
You probably have better internet. No, I need to be over there at the hospital, at the hotel that's right by the hospital, so I can get there quick to the class. So everybody have a wonderful, it's about 2 weeks, I think 2 to 3 weeks before we see each other again, but enjoy the holiday of Sukkot. So have a Chag Sameach, and this week, I wish you all a Gamar Chatima Tova.
Thank you.
Thank
Stay
you.
safe, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Please stay safe. Bye-bye.